Kazakh national handcrafts make up the precious roots of steppe culture. They provide an inside look into nomadic lives. The art of the nation who once lived upon the Great Steppe is pictured here through wood and iron processing, jewelry and felting. Many programs modernize the culture of hunting, falconry, horse training and racing. Take a look inside the Kazakh culture on the program KazArt. There are different sculptures that seem mysterious in the sky. They attract viewers without any words. These compositions, which are made of clay or stone or gypsum, are made by TV-eng Benashev.
Ben özüm dalada östüm. Bizden endi Bayırkım deйтін ауыл болды. Ол қой шаруашылығымен айналысты. Мен қойшының баласы болдым.
I was born in a sheep agricultural village of Bayırkım. As I was a son of a herdsman, I was making different shapes from the stones as it was my hobby. So I became a sculptor in this way. Who knows how my talents came to me, whether from God or nature. I came to my village from the Joly, and our village was located near the Sir River. I swam on the River Sir and made different sculptures from clay, such as camels and horses. And I also learned there swimming. I did not have a teacher.
Сонда сырға шомылып, сырдың сырлы балшықтардан мен мүсіндер жасап, неше түрлі түйелер, аттар жасап, сондай мен үйрендім. Яғни менде ешқандай бір ұстаз ондай болған жоқ.
The sculptor's work, The Son of Bayırkım, shows his thoughts and ideas of supporting the village and developing it. This is a moment captured of the future sculptor, who came from Bayırkım and spent there his unforgettable childhood. And it is not only Bayırkım, it is also an image to all children from the village. If we were to tell in one word, he had the image of a boy who grew up in his motherland and feels the spirit of the Great Steppe.
Мектепті бітіргеннен кейін сол біздің ауданға көршілес қазір Orda-Bas ауданы ол кезде.
When I completed school, there was a neighborhood region in Orda-Basi, currently named Temirlan. There is a mausoleum of Kazimukhan, and I had an interest in sculptures since that time. The first secretary of the mausoleum, Rashid Omanov, offered to make a sculpture of Kazimukhan, as he noticed my interest. I was really afraid of making a sculpture. I didn't have any special education at that time, but they gave me spirit and supported me. Then I made my sculpture of Kazimukhan, and his two sons cried and hugged me when they saw the sculpture, and they told me that I made him look like he was really alive. I became a star in a single day, in the newspapers and the magazines, and then I arrived in Almaty. I was enrolled in a special art school, and then I was noticed by the first Kazakh sculptor, Hakimjan Nauruzbayev. He told me he was also from the village. I knew our customs and traditions very well. I became his student and we worked together in the workshop. My art started in Almaty.
Өйткені мен әдет-ғұрпты жақсы білдім тұрмыс салтты. Сөйтіп сол кісі мені өзіне жақын тартып, мені шәкірт қылып, сол кісімен бірге істестім, шеберханасында көп нәрсені үйрендім. Сөйтіп менің өнерім Алматыда шыңдалды.
Every artisan typically has their own signature. TV-eng, who grew up in the village, paid attention to the customs and traditions in his later works. The sculptor's sculpture here is named The Motherland, starts from the family. Kazakh people always discuss any decision with the family or relatives all together. Also, grandparents give their advice, and they mention the right way to the younger generation. The composition, which shows a national treasure, took a successful side.
Менің байқағаным кез келген туындыны жоспарлап алдын ала бір мынау ойламайды.
As I noticed, my compositions have not been planned up front. Typically, they come to me from a fantasy. If something does not affect me or I should not change my thoughts, then I will not be able to produce any compositions. The compositions which I make are made from my thoughts, and I try to develop my thoughts. In any theme or topic, I always try to develop them. And as I mentioned, in a decorative shape or classic shape, the main style is a stone-shaped sculpture, and it is the main style of the sculptor. We can say that there is not such any sculpture in Kazakhstan. Our brother Akhmetov has a similar sculpture, but not the same. As any of the sculptor's compositions, we can see strong nationalism of art, which you cannot see in other compositions.
Bizde Kazakhstanda жоқтығы болады. Ахметов деген ағамыз өткен кезінде, Рысбек Ахметов деген. Оның өзінше стиль болған, ұқсас, бірақ мұндай емес еді. Бұл енді ұлттық колорит кәдімгі, ұлттық нақыш аңқып тұрады. Кез келген туындысынан өзіндік ұлттық аңқып тұрады. Ешкім ұқсамайтын.
The image of three women called the Kazakh daughters-in-law is a composition which describes hard-working, gentle, and wise mothers. There is a saying that a mother rocks the cradle with one hand and in the second hand she rocks the world. This pregnant woman is stirring milk. Her little daughter holds the mother's dress and the woman is dreaming about a son. From the third composition, we can see a mother who is holding her baby and working hard for the family prosperity. Subsequently, these compositions show the symbol of Kazakh daughters-in-law as they think about their family and deserve a lot of honor. These are the instruments of my teacher, Hakimjan Nauruzbayev, who left them for me. They were made in the 50s, if you have a look. Benashev highly valued his teacher, and each composition of the sculptor seems to have his own language. If you look at this composition, you can see a camel breeder in the desert. In ancient times, our ancestors took care in the way of the camels. The sculptor who grew up in the desert described greatly the camel breeder's life. I usually have interest in Kazakh customs and traditions, and this is another topic. For example, the Kazakh people have a word of wisdom which was left by their ancestors. And these words were supporting me. When I arrived in the city, I saw a lot of people. That period when I enrolled in the art specialized school, I changed my style to the European style. And I would like to tell you now that the artist's attitude can be changed by life. Currently, I have changed my mind and my attitude, and I make sculptures from these demands.
Сол сияқты қазір уақытта мен жандегі бағытымды өзгертіп, мына заманға сай осы сондай мүсіндер жасап жатырмын.
The composition of 20th century grandfather and the grandson of the 21st century can take a discussion from nowadays. The grandchild who thinks only about social networks and cell phones and making trouble for an old man. The author shows here the old man who thinks about his land, his nation, and he would like the younger generation to continue in those traditions. There is a saying that, "My child is honey, my grandchild is my soul." The grandmother with the grandfather puts their grandchild on the camel as he is continuing the generation and their happiness. Here we can see the grandfather gives his blessings and the grandmother is worried about the grandchild, whether or not he will fall off the camel.
Мүсінші болу үшін мысалы, мына ортаң жақсы болу керек. өзің отбасың, өзің жаңағы сүйген жарың.
If you would like to be a sculptor, you need to know your society and be good. For example, as we know, after the World War, we started to develop. And in this period, the first was Hakimjan Naurzbayev. I would like to say that in this time, the Kazakh sculpture was developed. Typically, this sculpture gives a lot of knowledge about the country for the younger generations and for tourists from abroad, as they first of all pay attention to sculptures. The sculptures have their own definitions about customs, traditions, and life.
Мысалы, туристер деп айтайық, келген қонақтар. Бірінші осы Қазақстанға келген кезде бірінші ескерткіштерге көңіл бөледі. Қандай бар екен ескерткіш деп, соны көруге ынталанып келеді. Қандай бар екен деп. Ол енді ескерткіш біздің жаңағы өзіміздің қазақ, біз кім болғанымызды, біздің тұрмыс салтымызды, біздің бүкіл біздің өмірімізді соны білдіреді.
This is a composition of the wolf here as a symbol of the warrior. There are 3 houses which show 3 hordes. The grandfather Korkurt, who is a kui player, invented the first kobus instrument. The eagle here is a sign of freedom and perseverance. The warrior and scientific person was born from the woman. Here the image of the mother takes the first place in the composition. Children are our future, as we say. And the great philosopher Al-Farabi and warriors in the image of Baybarus is also a conclusion on this composition. The composition about love is unique, called A Dream of the Boatman. You can see in this composition a lady who has come from the city, who is walking with a boatman on the Sirdarya River, breathing fresh air and admiring nature. From the other way, if you look at it, you can notice the boatman is in love with the girl, and he cannot express his feelings, and that's why his thoughts are dreaming. If I talk about my family, my elder daughter works in the military. She is a police major. I was not supporting her when she told me that she would like to be a sculptor. I saw a lot of difficulties. Also, I was against her being a sculptor. But she could draw very well. If I let her become a sculptor.
Onda men вообще оқымаймын деп ол қызым. Соны кейін амал жоқ, ол қызыма батамды бердім, ол мүсінші болды. Мына жүргені біздің өнер академиясын бітірді.
Балалық шақтан бастап, әкем әрқашанда өзімен бірге барлық суретшілердің, мүсіншілердің шеберханаларында өзімен бірге алып жүретін. Сол себепті
Since childhood, my father took me with him to the different workshops of various artists and sculptors. I saw everything in my childhood, and I really liked sculpture, so I decided to become a sculptor. When I saw my father's works, I understood that his compositions occupied national themes. I also like his works a lot. If I will speak about my father, I can say that he works hard. He prefers to work in the national style, but he also has works in other themes as well.
Ұлттық стильде жасаған жақсы көреді жұмыстары, бірақ әр жұмыстары өте көп және әр тақырыптары да әртүрлі.
On the whole, Gulfiya follows her father's footsteps. She is one of the younger, well-known sculptors of Kazakhstan. In this theme of Gulfiya, her theme is disbalance.
Дисбаланс деген жұмысым ол енді
Subsequently, my work called Disbalance brought out beauty. Here I showed the men observing beautiful, graceful women. The village boy who came to Almaty from Bayarkum has his own signature in Kazakh sculpture. He has become a well-known sculptor of his country.